where are your coworkers? Are they working? Are they at the office? Are they traveling from home to the office? Where are they?
And I don't know, I work in my house.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think only uh, go to the office in determinate days.
In a specific
In a
days.
specific day.
Ah, okay, Alice. Okay, Alice, so Alice, tell me, how was your weekend?
Fine,
Fine, great. What did
fine.
you do?
I I went to the cinema.
Excellent, Alice. What movie did you see?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, okay. You know, Alice, I had planned to go to the cinema with my wife, but um, here I don't live in Mexico City. I live in a small town called Sayuca.
Oh,
Sayuca is in
okay.
Hidalgo, but is the closest place to Mexico City. Here in Sayuca, Alice, which is your house and your house for Edgar too, there is a small cinema. But last weekend, this cinema was too crowded, was too full of people. And
Oh,
I wanted to see Doctor Strange. So Alice, the question is it a good movie or is it a bad movie? What's your opinion, Alice?
I think it's a good movie. I like it. It's a action movie.
Ah, okay. And okay, actually, again, how long is the movie, Alice?
I think 2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
Yeah.
Is it exciting? Is it boring?
No, exciting.
Okay, Alice. Okay, Alice, and after the cinema, what do you do?
Um, I went to Mixcalco with my family. Uh, After I watch movies in my house.
In Miscalcolis, there is a place, I remember that that place is famous for selling clothes, right?
Yes, yes.
Ah,
Normally, buy a clothes for the parties. Uh, yes, formal parties.
exactly. And the prices are good, no, Alice?
Yeah,
It's not like not very expensive, I say.
exactly.
Good, Alice, good, okay. Excellent. What about my friend Edgar? Edgar, good morning, Edgar. How are you? How do you feel today, Edgar?
Good morning, Miguel. I'm fine. It's uh, it's Tuesday, so the the band Monday is done, so I'm fine.
So yesterday it was about a bad Monday.
Uh, well, uh, well, in my case, I think Monday is the worst day for the week
Oh, really?
because uh, well, you have a good weekend, also have more time to relax, take whatever you want to do. So Monday for me, it's the beginning of the
Okay.
of the true story, the true
Yes,
life.
exactly. I see your point. I see the point exactly. Saturday and Sunday is maybe a relaxing, like I say, at home, maybe going out. But Monday, welcome to real life, no?
Right.
Good. Edgar, tell me, what did you do last weekend? Did you go out? Please share with us. How did you spend last weekend?
Uh, sure. Was very busy because I was celebrating my birthday. So
Oh, really, Edgar?
yeah, so Friday,
Oh, Edgar, happy birthday to you.
Saturday, and Sunday was very busy.
Excellent, Edgar. Edgar, and did you celebrate your birthday?
Yep.
Excellent, Edgar. Excellent, Edgar. How did you celebrate your birthday? Did you have a party at home, or did you celebrate in a restaurant?
Both because the when family want to do something to spend time with me. So it's totally different when you have a party with your friends and different places, different moods. So, but it's a mandatory have a party here in my in my house.
It's mandatory.
So,
That's good. That's good, Edgar. It's mandatory. Okay. Excellent, Edgar. Edgar, so congratulations, Edgar. Congratulations, Edgar. I hope you had a really great celebration, Edgar. And
thank
I
you so
really
much.
hope, Edgar, that you live at least, Edgar, that you, I wish you live, Edgar. I wish you can live, Edgar, until you are 150 years old, Edgar.
Oh my goodness, it's I'm not sure if I got it or not.
Well, Edgar, it's my desire, okay? I wish you can live until
Yeah,
you are 150 years old.
I know the best desires.
Very good, good. What about my friend Benjamin? Good morning, Benjamin. How are you, Benjamin?
Good morning, Miguel. Fine. Thank you. How are you?
Excellent, Benjamin. Benjamin, how was your weekend, Benjamin?
I was at home and only I don't go to any place this
I
weekend.
didn't go. You can say I didn't go to any place.
I didn't go to any place this weekend.
Okay. Benjamin, did you watch any good movie?
No, in this weekend I don't see movies.
This weekend I didn't see. This weekend I didn't see
I
any
didn't
movie.
see any movie.
Okay, Benjamin. Okay, Benjamin. Or maybe I don't know. Do you do anything special? I don't know. Maybe a special meal with your family. I don't know. Maybe did you watch any good series? Any TV series?
No, it's a normal weekend. No,
I don't know weekend.
make I don't make any special thing this weekend.
I didn't do. You can say, Benjamin. You can say I didn't do anything special this weekend. I didn't do.
I didn't do anything special this weekend.
Okay, look, let me work it here. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm going to write on the board. Okay. You can say like this. Let me share this. Okay. You can say I didn't do. I didn't do anything special this weekend. Okay. Benjamin, I have a question for you, Benjamin. You can say this, no? I didn't do anything special this weekend. What, Benjamin, what happens if I say, imagine that I'm Miguel, I tell you, oh, Benjamin, I say to Benjamin, okay, yeah, I didn't do nothing special this weekend. What happens, Benjamin, if I say to you, oh, Benjamin, I didn't do nothing special this weekend, Benjamin? Correct or incorrect, Benjamin? What do you think?
Nothing special. Anything special?
Let's say this is Benjamin's version and this is Miguel's version, okay? But the question is, Benjamin, what do you think about my version? Is it correct? Is it the same or really different? I don't know.
I don't know. Only the difference is anything and nothing.
Exactly. So, what's your? Let's say, Benjamin, what is your bet? Look at this. What is your bet? ¿Cuál es tu apuesta? ¿No? What is your bet, Benjamin? Correct or incorrect?
Maybe I didn't do nothing special this weekend. Is it correct?
Correct. Okay. What about Edgar? What's your opinion, Edgar? Benjamin told me, Miguel, I didn't do anything special this weekend, but then Miguel, I told Benjamin, I didn't do nothing special this weekend. What is your bet, Edgar? Is this correct? Is this correct? Correct, Edgar.
If I'm not wrong, when you use anything, you have to do a negative form. So I think the first is the correct answer.
This one is correct. This one now, Edgar? My version, let's imagine that's my version. My version is not correct.
Well, it's a double negative,
Exactly.
so I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay. What about Alice? What's your opinion, Alice? Listen to Benjamin's version. Benjamin told me, I didn't do anything special this weekend. But then, Alice, I told Benjamin, oh, Benjamin, I didn't do nothing special this weekend. What's your opinion, Alice? This is correct, this is incorrect, or I don't know, this is correct, or this is correct. What is your bet, Alice?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I don't remember the rules.
Okay. What about Alex? Good morning, Alex. How are you, Alex?
Hi, good morning.
Excellent, Alex. Alex, tell me, how was your weekend, Alex?
But
What? Why? Alex? What?
because I worked all the weekend.
You were working on a weekend?
Yep.
Terrible, terrible, Alex. Okay. Okay, Alex, so tell me, Alex, what version, what sentence is correct? I didn't do anything special this weekend, or I didn't do nothing special this weekend. What is your bet, Alex?
I think the first is correct.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, listen, friends. This one is correct. Okay. Why? Remember, in English, we never have double negative like here. I didn't do nothing. That is ungrammatical. Okay. I'm going to write here. This sentence is ungrammatical. Why? Because you have two negatives. Maybe the correct this sentence to change to the correct side is you can say, for example, you can say, I did nothing special this weekend. This one, okay. I did nothing special this weekend. Why? Because you only have here one negative, okay? In Spanish it says, hice nada, and literally in Spanish it says, hice nada especial este fin de semana. But in Spanish we understand, no hice nada especial este fin de semana. Or this one, I didn't do anything special this weekend. Okay? Okay, very good, friends. Today, let's continue, okay? Before this Jose arrives, okay? Let's continue with business idioms, okay? Here I wrote 3, okay? Shoot from the hip, see eye to eye, bend over backwards, okay? I will tell you the first one. Shoot from the hip. That in Spanish is, or sorry, in English is to be very direct. For example, you can say, Thomas likes to shoot from the hip. Okay. It means that Thomas likes to say, okay, direct things to people. Okay, that is shoot from the hip, to be very direct. Okay. What about Alice? Alice, do you like to be? Look at the question, Alice. Do you like to be? Do you like to be? Sorry, do you like to shoot from the hip, Alice? Do you like to shoot from the hip?
Depends. I think it depends of the moment that
Okay.
the person can shoot from the hip.
Okay. What about Edgar? Do you like to shoot from the hip?
Well, that's a hard question because, well, in my personal opinion, I think the best option is everyone have to be very yeah, be too short from the hip, so it's more easy and quickly say the things. But the problem is when people don't take in the better way. So it's complicated.
That is correct. Exactly. I agree with you. That is correct. Okay. Hello, Jose. Good morning, Jose. How are you, Jose?
Hi, teacher. How are you? I'm fine.
Hi,
Thank you so much.
Jose. Excellent. Jose, please tell us, Jose, how was your weekend, Jose?
How was my weekend? It was great. I stayed at home and I rest a little bit.
Very good, Jose. Okay, so, okay. We were practicing, Jose. We were teaching some business idioms. We only saw the first one, okay? For the next classes, okay, we will continue to see these two and many more, okay? So I'm going to give you the contra, Jose. Okay. Very good, Jose. So, very good, Jose. So now it's your turn, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, teacher. Let me share. Okay, good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Can you hear me?
Sure.
Good morning. Okay, thank you so much. Well, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, do you remember what we talked about in our last class? Or do you remember the topic that we learned on first day? Can anyone?
I remember the word association, attend. mm,
Okay,
attendance,
attendance.
association.
Okay, those are okay.
I don't read that.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin. Okay, and anyone else would like to share something?
Sure. We check advice and suggestions when we use modal verbs. Also, we review the graphic for the modal verbs and the intensity when we use to do these modal verbs at a specific moment with a specific intensity. And I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Edgar and Benjamin. Well, as your classroom mentions, in our previous lessons, we were talking about modal verb suggestions and how to use them in specific moments, okay? And also, as Benjamin mentioned, we learned some new words related to business. For example, attendance and among others. So in today's class, we're gonna continue talking about suggestions. In the previous lesson, we learned how to give suggestions to someone else, suggestions related to going on a trip. But in this case, we're gonna learn how to respond those suggestions. Okay? Okay. And then we are gonna learn how to use the word or the expression yes when you're not sure about something. Okay, at first we have this question. I forget the question. Yeah, sorry. Okay, this is the question. What do you usually do when someone suggests something? Anyone would like to help me? Usually do when someone. Alicia, please.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
I don't remember all the intensity
Yes.
suggestion, but
Okay. Here's the question. What do you usually do when someone suggests something? ¿Qué usualmente haces cuando alguien te sugiere?
I try to respond.
Okay, to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. You try to respond to that suggestion. Okay. Edgar, what do you usually do when someone suggests something?
For example, the common suggestion, the mother to the kids as usual to study. Probably the kids answer with I will try to do, or I don't like to do, or well, if it's a conscious kid, probably will be say I will do the best or something like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Alicia. Alejandro, what do you usually do when someone suggests something?
Maybe trying to consider the suggestion in the maybe in the situation that I stay.
Okay, you try to consider the suggestion. Okay, excellent. Thank you. And finally, Benjamin, what do you usually do when someone suggests something?
Okay, maybe I been suggest see if it's a good suggest or if it's a bad suggest and I consider the if it's correct continue with this suggest or not.
Okay, you also consider the suggestion. Okay, thank you so much. Well, you have different opinions about this question and all are correct. In this case, in the book mentions some expressions that you can use to respond to someone's suggestions. Okay, for example, Edgar mentioned, I don't like the idea, I don't think I can do it, I'll try my best. Okay, those are some suggestions that you can use to respond to someone else's suggestions. Okay, let's practice with a conversation from the book. Give me a moment. Can you see the book?
Yes.
Okay, here we have this conversation. Can anyone help me reading this conversation? I need 2 people help me reading this conversation. Who wants to be Chris?
I will try with Chris.
Okay, you try with Chris. And who wants to be Stan?
Yeah, Stan.
Okay, you can start then. Thank you.
You know, we should take a few days of some time.
Yeah, we should definitely.
We could go to Mexico or something.
That's great. That's a great idea.
We could even go for a couple of weeks.
Well, maybe I guess we could both.
We could just quit our jobs and maybe go backpacking for a few months.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to, but I guess I need to keep this job, to pay for school and stuff.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Okay, excellent, guys. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions about vocabulary in this conversation?
I guess.
I guess. Do you know what is I guess, or do you want to know the meaning?
It's for uh, confirm the the first word, the first sentence.
Okay. Well, we use I guess in this case to say the other person that you are not really sure about something. For example, here we have this example. We could even go for a couple of weeks. Podríamos ir por un par de semanas. Well, maybe, I guess we could, but sí, tal vez. Yo creo que podríamos ir. Okay. No está muy seguro de lo que está diciendo. I guess we could. Tal vez podríamos. Okay. And here we have another example. We could just quit our jobs and maybe go backpacking for a few months. Well, I don't know. I like to, but I guess I need to keep this job. Okay. Bien, no lo sé. Me gustaría, pero yo creo que necesito conservar este trabajo. I guess I need to keep this job. Okay. Is it clear? Any questions?
No,
Okay, thank you. Well, in this conversation, we have some expressions to respond to someone else's suggestions. Can you identify some expressions?
well,
Okay.
could live in. That's great. I don't know, I guess.
Okay. Thank you. Well, in this conversation, there are some expressions that you can use to respond to someone else's suggestions. For example, yeah, we should. That's a great idea. Well, maybe, I guess we could. Well, I don't know. I like to, but I guess. As you can see, I guess is the main expression here. And here we have other expressions. Okay, 4 suggestions you like. That's a great idea. That sounds great. I love to. If for suggestions you don't like, maybe, I guess we could, but I don't know. I like to, but estas son algunas expresiones que ustedes pueden utilizar si les gusta la sugerencia o si no les gusta la sugerencia. Okay, that's a great idea. That sounds great. I love to. And for suggestions you don't like, maybe, I guess we could, but I don't know. I like to. Okay, let's continue then. Do you have any questions with this?
Nope.
No.
Okay, here we have other expressions, more expressions that you can use when someone else suggests something. Okay, for example, okay, we have, that's a good idea. What a great idea. That sounds good. Why not? Yes, with pleasure. Yes, I like to. Thanks, I love to. Oh yes, that's not a bad idea. Okay, and then we have for refusing suggestions, or suggestions that you don't like. No, let's not. I'm not sure. What a bad idea. I don't feel like it. I don't think I can. No, I'd rather not. I prefer. It turns out that's a good idea, but. Do you have any questions with this vocabulary?
No.
Okay. And the others, do you have any questions?
No.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Well, in the book mentions this expression, the expression I guess. And here says that you can use I guess when you're not 100% sure about something, or if you don't want to sound 100% sure. Okay, utilizamos la expresión I guess cuando no estamos al 100% seguros sobre algo o si no queremos sonar 100% seguros. For example, I guess I need to keep the job. Yeah, me too, I guess. Okay, and here it mentions that I guess is one of the top 20 expressions. Es una de las expresiones de alguna manera más utilizadas. Okay, so give me a moment. Okay, so let's continue. Well, and these are the new 6 words for today's lesson. Okay, in the last lesson, we learned some new words. For example, you mentioned attendance, attend, attendee. Do you remember any other words?
Agree.
Agree. What else? Okay, so let's check these new words. Okay, and the first word is a verb. I think you know this verb because we have practiced this verb in the previous lessons. But the verb is select. Do you have an idea what it means? Select.
To choose something?
Okay, to choose something. Okay. Okay, here we have this. Okay, to choose a small number of things or to choose by making careful decision. To choose. Okay, can you help me read this example, Edgar, please?
There was a choice of 4 prizes, and the winner could select one of them.
Okay, thank you. There was a choice of 4 prizes, and the winner could select one of them. Okay, thank you. And Alejandro, can you help me reading this example, please?
Yes. A mouse is a device which makes easier to select different options from computer menus.
Okay, thank you. A mouse is a device which makes it easier to select different options from computer menus. Okay, and this is how you can use the word select. In this case, it's a verb. Thank you. And then we have the word selection, that it's very similar to the previous one, but in this case, we're using this word as an noun. In this case is, sorry, the act of choosing someone or something. For example, the selection process. Oh, Benjamin, can you help me reading the second example, please?
Okay, success is achieved. ¿Cómo se dice?
Achieved.
Achieved. Okay, achieved by the careful selection of projects.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin. Success is achieved by the careful selection of projects. Okay, and this is how you can use the word selection. as a noun, como un sustantivo. The selection process. Success is achieved by the careful selection of projects. Okay, thank you. And then we have selective. Do you know what is selective?
When you are more specific on choosing something.
Okay, when you're more specific about choosing something. Excellent. Alejandro? Okay, let's see what it means. Okay, when you're more specific or intentionally choosing some things and not others. Okay, cuando intencionalmente eliges algo, algunas cosas y no otras. For example, as a teacher, she was very selective, accepting only a small number of exceptionally gifted pupils. Okay, cuando eliges algo de manera muy selectiva. Okay. So can we join to the same link again, guys? We are running out of time, please.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Again, so
Can you repeat, please?
sure. To log something, some information, some action.
Okay. Log something. Okay, let's check. Okay, that's right. It's to put information, especially your name, into an official list or record. Okay, poner su información, especialmente su nombre o información personal, en una lista oficial o en un libro. For example, Alicia, can you have me reading this first example, please?
Yes. I register the car in my name.
Okay, thank you. I registered the car in my name. Okay, es como decir, puse el carro a mi nombre. O registré el carro a mi nombre.
Okay.
Thank you. Benjamin, can you have me reading the second example?
Yes. Within 2 weeks of arrival, all foreigners had to register with the local police.
Okay, thank you. Within 2 weeks of arrival, all of foreigners had to register with the local police. Dentro de 2 semanas de la llegada de los extranjeros, ellos tuvieron que registrarse con la policía local. Okay, register. And finally, we have this one. Alejandro, please.
Students have to register for the new course by the end of April.
Okay, thank you. Students have to register for the new course by the end of April. Okay, los estudiantes tienen que registrarse para el nuevo curso a finales del mes de abril. Okay, so register is to put information into something. Okay, registrarse. Then, this is the first use that we have for this word register as a verb, como verbo. But here we have the second word that is the same, but in this case we are using this word as a noun. Estamos utilizando esta palabra como un sustantivo. ¿Alguien sabe cuál es el significado de esta palabra como un sustantivo?
Well, in this example, just similar to checking.
Okay, similar to check-in. For example, we have the hotel's register show that only half of the members had arrived. Okay, en la primera utilizamos como registro, como registrarse como un verbo. Y aquí tenemos esta palabra que es la misma, como sustantivo, y en este caso lo estamos utilizando como un registro. In this case, it's a book of record containing a list of names. Es un libro o una lista que contiene, en este caso, una serie de nombres. Es un registro. Son los que tienen los hoteles en las entradas. Guests write their names in the hotel register. Los huéspedes escriben sus nombres en el registro del hotel. Or is your name on the register of votes? ¿Está tu nombre en el registro de los votantes? Ok, ¿sí queda claro esta diferencia entre estas dos palabras? Registrarse y registro.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have the last word, that is registration. Okay, so let's check. In this case, is the act of recording a name or information on an official list. Voter registration. Okay, en este caso es la acción de registrarse en algo. Okay. So far, do you have any questions with these words?
Oh,
Okay.
No.
No, okay. Let's do an activity because we only have 10 minutes. Let's do this listening activity. Well, this listening activity says it's good to travel. Guess the missing words, then listen to conversations between Mark and his friends. Write the missing words. Okay, you have to listen to this audio and you have to complete these missing words. Any questions?
No.
Okay, so let's listen to the audio.
Page 71.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay, so this activity and then
3. Listening and strategies. It's good to travel. A and B. Listen to conversations between Mark and his friends. 1.
You know, I think it's important for everyone to travel to another country, to see how other people live.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good to study about places in school and go on vacation and everything, but you have to live in a country to really understand its culture.
That's true. But I'm actually thinking about taking a vacation in Mexico this summer. Hey, you should come with me.
Well, I'd like to, but is it easy to find cheap flights?
2.
On my last business trip, I spoke some French. It was good, to say hello and please, and people really liked that.
I'm sure. It's so important to speak the local language when you travel.
Yeah. We could take a French class together.
Well, I guess we could, but I really want to learn Spanish. It's easier to find a job when you can speak Spanish.
3.
You're so lucky. You travel all over. I'd love to go sightseeing in San Francisco or somewhere.
I know. There's a lot of interesting places to see, but it's actually good to get away from tourist areas. Like when you go north of San Francisco, along the coast, it's beautiful. And there are no tourists. We could rent a car and go there sometime.
That sounds great. Are there any nice places to stay?
4.
One of my favorite trips was to Australia, though it's not easy to get there. It's like an 18-hour flight.
Wow. How long did you stay there?
Only 8 days, And it's not possible to get to know a country in a short trip like that.
No, you're right.
You know, we should go backpacking there, like all summer next year.
I don't know. It's not easy to go away for so long. I have to work.
5.
You know, a friend of mine went to China last year. She loved it, but she wouldn't eat the food.
Really? That's too bad. The food is so good. And anyway, you should always try the local food when you go to a new place.
I agree. And anyway, I love Chinese food.
You know, there's a Chinese festival next month. Why don't we go?
I'd love to. Do they have music and food and everything?
Okay, do you have the answers for this activity?
Yep.
No, not all.
Not all. Do you want to listen to the audio again?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen once more.
Page 71. 3. Listening and strategies. It's good to travel. A and B. Listen to conversations between Mark and his friends. 1.
You know, I think it's important for everyone to travel to another country. You know, to see how other people live.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's good to study about places in school and go on vacation and everything, but you have to live in a country to really understand its culture.
That's true. But you know, I'm actually thinking about taking a vacation in Mexico this summer. Hey, you should come with me.
Well, I'd like to, but is it easy to find cheap flights?
2.
You know, on my last business trip, I spoke some French. It was good, you know, to say hello and please, and people really liked that.
I'm sure. It's so important to speak the local language when you travel.
Yeah, you know, we could take a French class together.
Well, I guess we could, but I really want to learn Spanish. It's easier to find a job when you can speak Spanish.
3.
You're so lucky. You travel all over. I'd love to go sightseeing in San Francisco or somewhere.
I know, there's a lot of interesting places to see, but it's actually good to get away from tourist areas. Like when you go north of San Francisco, along the coast, it's beautiful. And there are no tourists. We could rent a car and go there sometime.
That sounds great. Are there any nice places to stay?
4.
One of my favorite trips was to Australia, though it's not easy to get there. It's like an 18-hour flight.
Wow. How long did you stay there?
Only 8 days, and it's not
No, you're right.
like all summer next year.
I don't know. It's not easy to go away for so long. I have to work.
You know, a friend of mine went to China last year. She loved it, but she wouldn't eat the food.
Really? That's too bad. The food is so good. And anyway, you should always try the local food when you go to a new place.
I agree. And anyway, I love Chinese food.
You know, there's a Chinese festival next month. Why don't we go?
I'd love to. Do they have music and food and everything?
Okay, do you have the answers?
Yes.
Okay, so let's review the first one. The first one, you have to
Leave.
You have to live. Okay, let's check. You have to live in a country to really understand its culture. Okay, well done. The second one, it's important to
Speak.
Speak other language.
okay, to speak other language. Okay, to speak the local language. Speak the local language. Okay. Well done. And the third sentence, it's good to
Get away from.
okay, get away from tourist areas when you go somewhere. And number 4, it's not possible to
Get to know.
get to know. Okay, to get to know a country in a short trip. And finally, number 5, you should try
Local food.
local food. Okay, you should try the local food when you go to a new place. Okay, these are the answers. Do you have any questions about vocabulary?
No.
No. Okay. So it's already night with 30 minutes. So we're gonna stop here. Is it okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
See you.
Thank
See you
you.
Thursday. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.
See you.
See you. Bye.